Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee, for this opportunity to testify. My name is Harrison Tuttle. I'm the Executive Director of BLM RI PAC and also a resident of Cranston. Our current process of redrawing political districts includes a glaring problem that exacerbates a disparity in representation for Black and Brown communities. People who are incarcerated at the time of this census are counted in the prisons that they are being held rather than their home communities. This robs them and their neighborhoods of their rightful representation. Prison gerrymandering removes representation from communities that are already unrepresented by shifting people's representation to prisons away from their communities that they live in and extra representation to communities where prisons are located, such as the ACI. While representation is diluted and drained from the districts where people who are temporarily incarcerated actually live. This committee, throughout this process of redistricting, has been criticized, questioned their integrity, and I'm here to say that throughout my experience here, that this is an absolute opportunity to tell the people who may distrust the decision-making that may happen, to set a wrong, to make it a right. This prison gerrymandering is absolutely continuing systemic racism that affects all levels of electoral politics. And so by continuing this, it is not only doing a disservice to our democracy, but doing a disservice specifically to Black and Brown people all across the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tuttle. Any questions for Mr. Tuttle? Senator De La Cruz.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Tuttle, thank you for testifying today. I have been listening intently to everyone's opinions, yours included, and those who will come after you. You had mentioned that it's systemic racism to count individuals at the ACI. Specifically, you said Black and Brown people. I'm just pulling up this report here, the 2019 annual report for the ACI. I wish I had more current data. But it says here that commitments awaiting trial and sentenced individuals, that the majority of them are white. The vast majority, this is the, as I will finish, the vast majority, and this is a government-funded report here, the vast majority of offenders are white, followed by Black and Hispanic. Offenders who identify themselves as Asian, Native American, or other or unknown make up less than 4% of the prison population. You can find this information online, but we can't call it systemic racism if most of the people incarcerated are white.
Let's be cognizant of everybody else's rights. If you want to speak, you have your right to do that, but please respect other people. Please respect other people. If not, I will ask somebody to remove you.
We may not like the data, but the data is not racist. The data speaks for itself. But I appreciate your comments, and they are duly noted, and we certainly don't want to disenfranchise anyone, no matter their color. So I do appreciate your comments.
May I respond? Thank you. Senator, when the data was being shown up here, it was clearly showed that a predominant amount of people that are incarcerated are not of Cranston residents. In fact, Providence and Pawtucket specifically, the numbers were about 38 and 11 for Pawtucket and Providence. That is where you see a large majority of people that are of color in this state. And so when I speak to systemic racism affecting, I'm speaking to the impact that has on electoral politics and how the districts are changed based off population and also race. And when you have a large majority of people from a small number of one specific place that are not from there, that creates disproportionate and dilutes representation in the individual districts in which they're from. That's a good point, but you said
that the majority of the people incarcerated. I should know because I always press the up button. The majority, you had stated that specifically black and brown individuals were incarcerated at a higher rate and that it's systemic racism. That's simply not true at the ACI. Do most of these individuals come from, as you stated, inner cities like Central Falls, Pawtucket, or Providence? That could be the case, but I'd like to see the data on that, and I'm not going to assume that's their home or their origins, their town or city of origin.
Thank you.